Right now, there's a man your age scrolling through his phone, wondering why a woman he gave everything to suddenly stopped caring. He thinks it's because he wasn't good enough. He thinks it's because another guy had more money, better looks, or higher status. But he's wrong. She didn't leave because he lacked something. She left because she felt nothing. And the reason she felt nothing is the same reason most men your age get played, ghosted, or kept as emotional backups. They don't understand the psychology of power. They understand desire. They understand attraction. But they don't understand control. Machiavelli did. 5 centuries ago, he wrote about human behavior with a clarity that should terrify you, not because it's dark, but because it's true. Before we go deeper, hit the like button right now if you've ever given more than you got back, and subscribe, because this video won't just teach you how women behave. It'll teach you how power behaves. And once you understand that, women stop becoming unpredictable. They become readable, influenceable, predictable. You just need the right lens. So watch closely, because this is the part where most average men unplug. But you're not average. And what happens next decides whether you stay invisible or become unforgettable. The first truth you must accept is brutal. Women don't chase the man who gives them the most. They chase the man who triggers something inside them, a switch, a feeling, a tension, something she can't fully understand or control. Most men your age try to win her with effort, more texts, more compliments, more availability, more emotional exposure. They think giving more equals getting more. But that formula only works when she already craves you. When she doesn't, the more you give, the cheaper you become. This is why nice guys don't finish last. They never even start the race. They show up to the starting line holding flowers while the finish line is already in another man's hands. So here's the first Machiavellian shift. Attraction isn't built by giving more. It's built by controlling what you give. The man who can walk away has more power than the man she knows will stay. The man who values his time forces her to value it too. The man who doesn't seek validation becomes the one who receives it. This isn't cold. This isn't manipulative. This is psychological gravity. You're not forcing her to want you. You're becoming the kind of man who is naturally wanted. But let me show you the thing no one your age ever studies: perception. Machiavelli said it is not necessary to be good, it is necessary to appear good. Modern men hear that and think it means fake it. No, it means control the frame, control the energy, control the image she experiences. People don't respond to truth, they respond to what feels true. You could be confident, intelligent, disciplined, loyal. But if your posture is weak, your tone insecure, your eyes uncertain, none of that matters. Because she doesn't feel it. And female attraction starts with feeling, not logic. She doesn't ask, is he valuable? She asks, do I feel value around him? Image creates that feeling before words ever do. This is why you need to stop explaining yourself. Stop oversharing. Stop revealing your entire personality in the first conversation. Your generation has been programmed to express everything. But mystery is more powerful than expression. Leave space. Leave silence. Leave questions. Let her imagination fill the gaps. because her imagination will always create a version of you more powerful than anything you reveal too early. You want to become a thought she can't fully solve, a presence she can't fully read, a man she understands just enough to be intrigued, but not enough to be certain. Because certainty kills attraction. Uncertainty fuels it. You're 20 to 25. This is the age where most men are either too emotional or too careless. They jump into relationships with zero standards. They tolerate disrespect because they're afraid of losing her. They accept breadcrumb attention because they fear being alone. They stay available because they want validation. But you're not doing that anymore. Here's the twist. Women don't test your strength when you're winning. They test it when you're insecure. They test it when you hesitate. They test it when you care too much. Every cold reply, every delayed response, every shift in tone is not a problem. It's a test of frame. She wants to know if your emotions control you or if you control them. Most men collapse. They chase harder. They explain themselves. They ask what's wrong. They try to soothe her feelings instead of studying her behavior. And when they do that, they lose the only thing that creates attraction in the first place: leverage. But not you. From this moment forward, you're going to respond to tests like a fox, silent, strategic, unreactive. And when a line is crossed, you respond like a lion, calm, assertive, immovable. Not with anger, not with emotion, with presence. This duality, the lion and the fox, is what Machiavelli called the true nature of power. And when a woman sees both in you, she can't predict you. And when she can't predict you, she can't control you. And when she can't control you, she becomes attracted to you in ways that scare her. But here's the real shift coming next. The thing that hooks her isn't your words, your compliments, or your effort. It's something far more dangerous. Something men your age never use. Something that creates obsession instead of interest. And once you master this, she won't just notice you, she'll chase you. When a boy chases a woman, he thinks he's proving loyalty. But in her mind, all he's proving is that he has no options. This is why the moment you show too much interest too early, she marks you as predictable, safe, and emotionally cheap. Women don't lose attraction because you're a bad man. They lose attraction because you're too easy to understand. The moment you pull back your energy, not ghosting, not ignoring, just shifting, her brain picks it up faster than any message you could send. Women are emotionally wired to sense when a man's attention drops. And that tiny drop creates a storm of curiosity. Curiosity becomes tension. Tension becomes fear of loss. And fear of loss becomes pursuit. Your silence is not emptiness. Your silence is pressure. When you stop replying instantly, when you stop giving her emotional VIP treatment, she starts imagining why you changed. Imagination is 10 times stronger than your words. Because she fills the silence with her own insecurities, fears, and fantasies. She starts wondering who else has access to you, who else could be taking her place, and whether she miscalculated your value. The more unpredictable you become, the more she invests emotionally trying to decode you. That investment is the beginning of her chase, because people chase what they can't fully control. This is the shift where your presence stops being a free gift and your absence becomes a threat. Scarcity creates value, and value creates pressure, and pressure forces her to act. She'll never say it out loud, But once she notices she's no longer the center of your attention, she starts trying to earn her way back into it. A Machiavellian man doesn't fake detachment. He lives a life that requires it. Your mission, your goals, your evolution, these are your real priorities, not her validation. When your life becomes bigger than your feelings for her, she feels it, and it shakes her confidence in the best way possible. Now she's the one adjusting her replies, studying your tone, and worrying about losing you. The more she wonders, the deeper she falls, because uncertainty is the fuel of feminine desire. She doesn't chase because she likes chasing, she chases because she fears replacement. Her ego won't let another girl take what she thought she had secured. And that fear, that insecurity, that tension becomes the emotional hook she ties to you. She thought you would chase, but you didn't. She thought she could predict you, but she can't. She thought you were like every other man, but you're not. And once a woman realizes she misread your value, she doesn't walk away, she competes. She invests. She tries harder. She wants the validation she once thought was guaranteed. And now, without forcing anything, without chasing anything, without begging for anything, she's the one moving toward you. This is the moment where the game flips completely, because once her mind enters the loop of uncertainty, she starts hunting for clarity. And the more she hunts for clarity, the more she emotionally ties herself to you. Women don't chase men out of love. They chase out of unresolved tension. They chase because they can't figure you out, can't read your next move, can't guarantee your attention. And that unpredictability sinks deeper into her ego than any compliment ever could. She starts to behave differently without even noticing it. Her replies become faster. Her tone becomes softer. Her curiosity becomes sharper. She asks more questions, checks your stories, studies your patterns, tries to reconnect to the version of you she thought she controlled. But the version she's dealing with now isn't the same man she casually entertained before. You shifted into a man she must qualify herself to, and qualification creates pursuit. When a woman tries to prove she's worthy, she automatically becomes invested. Investment creates emotional risk, and emotional risk always deepens attraction. This is where you start to see the small cracks in her frame. She'll send random check-ins, playful pokes, or subtle "where have you been?" messages disguised as jokes. She'll start mirroring your energy because she doesn't want to fall behind in the psychological dance. And even if she pretends she's unbothered, her consistency exposes the truth. She's trying to close the distance you created. That distance is now your weapon, because distance forces her to step forward. The Machiavellian man understands one thing most men never grasp. Women don't fall for effort. They fall for influence. Effort tries to impress. Influence reshapes their behavior. Effort seeks approval. Influence controls emotional rhythm. Effort tries to win her over. Influence makes her fear losing you. And the more she fears losing you, the more she repositions herself into your orbit, adjusting her behavior to match your emotional pace. She becomes more careful with her words, more patient with your timing, more eager for your attention. She reduces her ego because she doesn't want to create more distance. She tries to appear relaxed, but you begin to notice her energy slipping, her competitiveness rising, her insecurities surfacing, her desire sharpening. And the reason is simple. You have become a man she cannot fully predict. Predictability kills attraction, but mystery sustains it. And you've transformed yourself into an emotional puzzle she can't walk away from. Now she begins to compete with imaginary threats. She imagines other women in your life even when there aren't any. She imagines someone else getting your attention, your time, your interest. That imagination becomes emotional pressure, and pressure becomes action. She tries harder, becomes nicer, becomes more feminine, more engaged, more curious. She doesn't do this consciously, it's instinct. Biological, psychological, primal. Women chase the man who makes them feel like they might lose him. But here's the deeper truth. The more she chases, the more she builds a narrative in her mind that you are the prize. People don't pursue things they don't value. Pursuit and value are directly linked. When she pursues you, her brain adjusts your worth upward. When she invests energy, her brain raises the emotional cost of losing you. This is why doing less often creates more attraction. Because she must fill the silence with her imagination, and imagination is always louder, darker, sharper than your words ever could be. Now she begins to crave emotional equilibrium with you. She wants reassurance, but doesn't want to look weak. She wants attention, but doesn't want to chase too obviously. She wants your time, but doesn't want to seem desperate. So she communicates in small, controlled signals, likes, replies, subtle jealousy, hints, questions, little tests. Every test is a request for emotional confirmation. Every hint is a plea for stability. Every question is her trying to understand where she truly stands in your world. And this is where most men collapse. Because they interpret her increased effort as a green light to give everything back at once. They break the frame. They smother her with attention. They lose the advantage they earned. But the Machiavellian man never breaks frame. Because he understands that attraction is built on controlled tension. Tension is the thread that keeps her tied to you. Cut the tension, and the thread goes slack. Maintain the tension, and her mind stays locked onto you. That doesn't mean being cold. It means being selective. It means giving warmth in small doses, like a reward she earns, not a gift she expects. It means giving attention occasionally, but never predictably. It means showing interest, but never surrendering your center. Predictable attention softens her desire. Unpredictable attention sharpens it. Women don't crave stability from a man they haven't secured. They crave the challenge of earning it. This is where your value becomes self-evident. You're not trying to appear high value, you are high value, because your emotional world does not revolve around her. Your goals, your ambition, your discipline, your identity, these are the pillars that make you untouchable. And a woman feels that. She senses when a man has direction. She senses when a man has options. She senses when a man's life is already full without her. And nothing attracts a woman more than a man who doesn't need her, but chooses selectively. Now she begins to mirror your seriousness. Her behavior starts aligning with your pace. She becomes more consistent, more genuine, more emotionally open. She becomes careful not to damage what she thinks she's building. Her ego steps aside, because ego cannot survive uncertainty. And that uncertainty, the silent fear of losing you, is the emotional glue holding her pursuit together. She may start asking personal questions, trying to dig deeper into your world. She may try to match your mood, your timing, your rhythm. She may lower her guard, reveal vulnerabilities, or share things she wouldn't share with a man she doesn't take seriously. Vulnerability is not love, it's investment. And investment is the ultimate indicator of emotional attachment. This is where your power peaks, not because you manipulated her, but because you remained a man with standards. You didn't chase, you didn't collapse, you didn't beg, you didn't over-explain, you didn't prove yourself. You simply held your frame, and in doing so, forced her to rise to your level. And now that she's chasing, here's the final twist. You don't reward the chase with immediate emotional saturation. You reward the chase with selective access. That access is the currency women value because they know it's limited. When you give her access on your terms, she feels chosen not by default, but by selection. And a woman who feels chosen on a man's terms becomes loyal in ways she didn't expect. But your mission does not end here. Your mission is to maintain the dynamic by staying centered. She cannot be your world. She can be part of your world. She cannot be your purpose. She can be your reward. She cannot be the source of your confidence. She can only be a reflection of it. When she senses that your direction remains unchanged, whether she stays or leaves, she becomes anchored to your presence. This is the emotional paradox that traps her. The more independent you are from her validation, the more she seeks your approval. The more focused you are on your purpose, the more she tries to be part of it. The more you prioritize your growth, the more she wants to align with your path. You didn't force her to chase. You created a life worth chasing. And once she realizes that other women would happily take her place if she slips, she becomes even more committed. Competition activates a primal instinct in women, the instinct to secure the highest value male available to them. And when she perceives you as that man, her behavior transforms from casual interest to strategic effort. She invests, she prioritizes, she commits, because losing you now feels like losing status, losing validation, losing opportunity. She becomes more feminine, more cooperative, more emotionally open, not because you demanded it, but because the dynamic silently demanded it. Your frame shaped her behavior. Your mystery shaped her curiosity. Your standards shaped her respect. And your absence shaped her desire. This is how a woman begins to chase a man even when she had better options. Because options don't matter when emotional investment takes over. Because attraction doesn't care about logic. Because desire doesn't care about lists or preferences. Desire follows uncertainty, and uncertainty follows the man who cannot be controlled.